This is Pokling 888 Telemetrading daily market research and data analysis. Here are the top 10 most active companies in the Philippine Stock Exchange in terms of volume. Led by Solar Philippines Nueva Ecija with 227.93 million at a price of 1 peso and 42 cents per share. Followed by the Dito CME Holdings, traded 37.31 million at a price of 5.37. Next, the Nickel Asia with 19.19 million at a price of 5 pesos and 41 cents per share. Followed by the Keepers Holdings, closed at a price of 1.36 and traded 15.62 million. Next, the Metro Pacific Investment traded 10.10 million at a price of 3.9 per share. Next, the Mega World with 9.01 million at a price of 3.14 per share. Next, the RL Commercial with 5.67 million at a price of 8.65. Next, the All Day Marts with 38.02 million at a price of 0.57 per share. Followed by the Wilcon Depot with 2.40 million at a price of 28 pesos and 45 cents per share. And the Security Bank with 1.17 million at a price of 112 pesos per share. And here are the notable gainers, led by the Lepanto Consolidated B with 10.24%. Next, the National Reinsurance with 10%, followed by the Coal Asia with 9.43%. Next, the Dito CME Holdings with 9.15%, followed by the Keepers Holdings with notable gains of 8.80%. Next, the iPeople with 8.02%. Also, the Solar Philippines Nueva Ecija with 6.77%, followed by Now with 6.67% gains. Also, the Petro Energy Resources with gains of 6.25%. Also, the Ginebra San Miguel with 6.16% gains. And declines were observed from the following companies. Swift Foods Pref with 6.67% losses. Next, the Harbor Star Shipping lost 5.68%, followed by United Paragon Mining with losses of 5.48%. Also, the Soc Resources with 5%. Also, the Niha Mineral with 4.76% losses, followed by Santa Lucia Land with 4.58 losses. Also, the Philippines 7 with 4.42%. The Prime Media lost 4.03%. The Manila Mining B with 3% losses. And Robinson's Retail with 2.98% losses. And these are the updates on Forex. For US dollar, the dollar index hovered around 95.5 level on Wednesday, while the China's yuan appreciated past 6.375 per US dollar. While the Australian dollar firmed up above 0.72 US dollar on Wednesday. Then the Japanese yen consolidated recent gains to trade around 115.4 per dollar. Also, the New Zealand dollar traded above 0.678 US dollar. And the British pound increased to a 9-week high of 1.3646. And these are the updates on commodities. For gold price, the gold firmed up above 1,810 US dollars an ounce on Wednesday after gaining sharply in the past two sessions. For crude oil, it features held above 81 US dollars per barrel. The Brent futures held above 83 US dollars per barrel on Wednesday after rallying 3.5% in the previous session, while the gasoline increased to an 8-week high of 2.3625 US dollars per gallon. And these are the stock market updates. In US, the US stock futures held steady on Wednesday after a broad market rebound in the previous session, as investors bought the dip following days of sharp losses. Though futures were little changed, while S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100 futures were also flat. During regular trading on Tuesday, the Nasdaq led the market higher after climbing 1.41%, followed by the S&P's 0.92% gain, snapping a 5-day slide, and the Dow's 0.51% rise. The energy, basic materials, consumer cyclical, technology, and communication services sectors were the top performers. In New Zealand, the NZX 50 index fell 0.21% to close at 12,804 on Wednesday, falling for a fifth straight session as stocks in New Zealand failed to gain traction despite strong gains among regional peers. The biggest index losers were Circle with 4.99%, Tourism Holdings with 4.03%, Scalar Up with 3.13%, Pacific Edge with 3.01%, and Arvida with 2.05%. While the index leaders include Pushpay Holdings with 4.1%, Sinlate Milk with 2.31%, Vista with 2.29%, and Kathmandu with 2.11% gains, and Air New Zealand with 1%. While in Australia, the S&P or Australia Exchange 200 index rose 0.66% to close at 7,439 on Wednesday, lifted by resource-related stocks amid a sharp rally in commodity prices. While technology firms extended the previous session's gains, following a strong overnight finish among Wall Street peers. Afterpay shares jumped 4.75% after seeing its 29 billion US dollars buyout by payments firm Block Incorporated has received approval from the Bank of Spain, making the deal fully unconditional. That lifted other tech firms including BrainChip with 10.19%, Zero with 1.25%, and WiseTech Global with 1.65%. Gold miners and energy stocks also advanced after their underlying commodity prices climbed, with gains from Newcrest Mining 2.32%, Northern Star Resources with 1.98%, Evolution Mining with 2.85%, Woodside Petroleum with 4.1%, Santos Ltd with 3.56%, and Beach Energy with 5.34%. Elsewhere, heavyweight iron ore miners, lithium explorers, and financial stocks mostly gained. In Italy, the FTSE MIB index extended yesterday's rebound by 0.6% to hover at the 27,700 level, supported by energy and commodity-backed stocks. While in the United Kingdom, the FTSE 100 rose 0.7% to 7,550 on Wednesday, extending gains for a second consecutive session, supported by a slew of positive earnings updates and as a rally in metal and oil prices boosted commodity-related stocks. In China, the Shanghai Composite rose 0.84% to close at 3,597, while the Shenzhen Component gained 1.39% to 14,421 on Wednesday, as lower than expected inflation numbers raised hopes for for the monetary policy easing. China's consumer prices were up 1.5% year over year in December, slowing from the 2.3% increase in the previous month and lower than market expectations for a 1.8% rise. Factory prices also climbed 10.3% year over year in December, decelerating from the 12.9% increase in the prior month and less than the 11.1% consensus forecast. While in France, the CAC 40 index extended gains to trade 0.4% higher at around 7,210 on Wednesday, supported by energy and raw material stocks and strong corporate results as investors await the US inflation figures due later in the session for indications on the Fed's monetary policy stance in the near future. On the corporate front, energy stocks tracked higher oil prices to gain 2.5%, led by Technip FMC with 6% and CGG with 4.8%. At the same time, Eramet 5.5% and ArcelorMittal 2.5% booked gains, tracking higher prices for steel and iron ore. Meanwhile, OVH jumped 6.1% after the cloud computing firm confirmed its financial targets for next year. In Japan, the Nikkei 225 index jumped 1.92% to close at 28,766, while the broader topics index gained 1.64% to 2019 on Wednesday, with both indices snapping a three-day slide as Japanese technology firms rebounded sharply following a strong overnight finish among Wall Street peers. Notable gainers among tech stocks were Lasertech 2.05%, Keyence with 4.98%, SoftBank with 6.03%, Tokyo Electron with 3.75%, and Recruit Holdings with 3.07%. All other sectors of the market mostly advanced, including Japanese shippers, retailers, and manufacturing firms. In South Africa, the FTSE or JSE All-Share Index rose over 1.5% to touch a record high of 75,172 on Wednesday, lifted by commodity-linked sectors and tech stocks. In Europe, European stocks followed global peers higher on Wednesday as investors digested Federal Reserve Chair Powell's testimony the day before and awaited the release of U.S. inflation data and Eurozone industrial production figures due today. These are the latest in bonds. In US, the yield on the benchmark 10-year Treasury note edged lower for a third straight session to 1.74% on Wednesday after touching a two-year high of 1.8% early in the week. While in United Kingdom, the yield was 1.15% on Wednesday, January 12th. And in Japan, the 10-year bond yield was 0.13% on Wednesday. And this is Emily from Philippines reporting. Thank you very much.